Outlet greatness.
I'm Paul McCallum, CFL kicker, Hall of Famer for 2022, and I'm here on the Only Touch Greatness podcast.
Okay, I got two more, and then if Chad has anything. But was there one thing about the CFL that you would change?
Boy. I mean, there's you can always make things better. This is going to sound actually, how do I put it? When I say it from one perspective, it's going to sound bad, but if you look at it from another perspective, you might understand. Like growing up, being like a soccer fan or whatnot, for me, like say running into Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi or whatever it may be, if you look and you watch them on TV and all the rest of it, like they've got security guards around them, like you're never going to get near those people. So it kind of builds up a bit of a, I can't think of the word right now, a mystique, okay? And people want to, they want something they can't have, they can't get near them. And so it kind of builds this persona up about it. And same with NFL players, like you can't get near them, practice facilities, you can't go near them. And so it builds up, it builds up their value because it's something that people want to obtain, they can't get it, so it's something you can't have. So with the CFL, I mean, you can go walk in. I mean, I've had strangers walk into my locker room. Like it's not a big deal, right? Like when you run into them everywhere, it's just not. So the value, the perceived value, is not the same. Like the Nathan Rourke when he was here, you can go see him. Like you're not going to go down and see whoever. Russell Wilson or whatever, you're not just going to be able to walk up and ask for his autograph. It just doesn't happen. So when people ask in the CFL, when they ask, I'm going to have this event, could I have a player show up? That's not unattainable, right? So the value of seeing the CFL players, I think, is devalued, and it's not as valued in the sense of going to a game, not a big deal. I was at the bar last night. He was there. Like it's just. Do you kind of get what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah.
I totally get from that perspective. It makes sense. But at the same time, I hear it from a lot of fans online or whatever that they say this is what makes the CFL so great in terms of having that access to the players, right? That no other league, as you say, Paul, no other league would give you that access to the players, but the CFL is unique in that sense. And it creates, in some ways, even though, as you say, it might devalue them, it creates that connection between player and fan, right?
Yeah, it does. It does for those fans that are there. But like, I mean, if you think about the NFL, go ask a person who's is not an NFL or a football fan, and they will probably think the NFL is here and the CFL is here, right? But you go play that clip with Chad Ochocinco, right? About saying that no, it's no joke up here. It's not, but it's perceived that way. So that's why I'm saying it's the perception. Sure, we are different because we're so accessible. I agree, and it's special that way, but it also hurts us on another angle as well. I mean, you want what's his name, Chad Kelly or whoever won the league MVP to show up somewhere. There's whatever $1,200, not $10,000 for an NFL guy to show up. What's the difference?
You're right.
You follow me, right? And so it's the same thing that people talk to me about the NFL and the CFL, and I'm like, watch an NFL game on mute. And watch it. You know what I'm saying? They've got the dollars that they put in for their statistics and all that sort of stuff, and it just builds up the value that sponsors want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Right. Could there ever be an NFL team in Vancouver at BC Place?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't. I mean, for first and foremost is the dollar. How are you gonna charge that much money when you have people bitching about going to a CFL game, right?
Sure.
Like, I don't know. I'm Ronaldo makes $236 million a year to kick a ball. He and some very few athletes, I believe, like Tiger Woods in the world, are worth that type of money because they're generating outside of their sport. But to just go in and play the game and like it's mind-boggling the kind of money that athletes are making today. So yeah.
And you look at Toronto couldn't make it work. I mean, that is a different market, sports market, but I mean, it's the biggest one in Canada. And if they can't make it work, I can't see why Vancouver would make it work.
Well, I mean, and I just heard a couple of weeks ago that they're thinking about bringing an NBA team here. Is that going to work? I mean, we had the Grizzlies. I mean, you watch, there was a documentary, this young lady, this like Asian lady did, who's
Finding Big Country.
Yeah, right. She did that, but she did some other things too.
Yeah.
I think she did interviews with, I can see his face. I can't think of his name right now. A general manager and the president talking about the dollars, right?
Stu Jackson.
Yeah. And is talking about the dollars. I mean, you're charging Canadian and paying American. There's a big gap, right? A big gap. The Aquilini's own the arena. If you don't own the arena, if you don't get the parking, if you don't get the concessions, forget it.
Yeah.
Like I had, before Bob Ackles had passed, he had talked about doing some different things, buying their own practice facility and maybe doing their own stadium. But I mean, that's the kind of thing. If you're not getting your own parking and your concessions and things like that, that's another thing. That's tough.